Time to open some booster packs. No, not this. This. Hey everyone, it's vmcampos, Magic fan, vintage Magic fan. I've got a video for you where I'm going to open some classic Magic cards. These are from the expansion Fallen Empires from 1994. These are the packs that I cracked way back in my youth. And these cards are from a set that is widely regarded as one of the worst. It's not actually the worst set, that's Homelands. There's a lot of great flavor in these cards. There's a lot of story in them. Not very powerful cards. For example, there's like no creature with flying in this set. It's just a weird set. 8 cards. The order of these is 6 common and then 2 uncommons or maybe a rare, and the rarity is all weird. So we're going to look at some old cards with old borders and old mechanics. But this is what Magic was in my youth. Don't forget to check the description for the different chapter stops to jump from pack to pack. Speaking of packs, I'm going to open 6 packs because again there's only 8 per pack. So this is equivalent to 3 packs in modern Magic. So we're going to have a booster draft. Not really. We're just going to open packs and see what we get. These old boosters were really not designed for drafting, so don't even think about that. You must have Magic the Gathering to play. 8 tradable game cards. Deckmaster, a Richard Garfield game. Now, there is a little story right here in the back. In the southern oceans of Dominia Prime lay a continent of great kingdoms. Far from the war between Urza and Mishra, the lands of Sarpedia prospered. But as the climate changed, resources dwindled and empires crumbled. Hideous new species arose in the forests and seas, forcing the Sarpedians to fight for their very survival. Recruit these toughened warriors and vicious predators for your duels, but beware lest you fare no better than the fallen empires. That's pretty epic. Okay, now the order of these should be the first 2 cards are going to be the common, the uncommon, or the rare, and then the last 6 are the common. So we're going to open it upside down. All right, so a few of the cards we're going to be on the lookout for. Rainbow Veil is the most valuable card in the set. It's a land. And then there's Hymn to Tourach, which is some amazing black card removal. And there's like some funguses and other interesting things. Goblin Grenade. So we'll see what we get. So first off, we've got Combat Medic. 2 and a white. Summon Soldier. 0/2. 1 and a white. Prevent 1 damage to any player or creature. Art by Susan Van Camp. Now there's a lot of things going on here. First of all, it's the old classic border, the one that I grew up with. The symbol, the set symbol, is a little crown, but it's not color-coded, so there's no way to know common or uncommon or rare unless you look it up. And also, if you look very carefully, we have the old mana symbol of the sun. The sun had a different symbol. You'll also see the tap symbol is different. No collector number either. Yes, Hymn to Tourach right away. Check it out, this card. This is amazing. For black, you get a sorcery, and target player discards 2 cards at random from his or her hand. If they don't have enough cards in their hand, their entire hand is discarded. Okay, great. So for 2 simple black mana, you're destroying 2 cards from the opponent's hand randomly. Devastating. Amazing. One of the best cards in the set. And it's a common. Now also what's interesting is that there are several versions of art. There's either 3 or 4 versions of the art in many of the common cards. So we'll see how many more hymns we get. And the flavor text also changes. Members of the order often played the hymn on instruments made from their victims' bones. It's so metal. Orcish Veteran. Quentin Hoover art. I really like his art. You hear me say this over and over. Who did the art on this one again? Sorry, Scott Kirshner. Okay, one red and two more. 2/2, summon orc. Of course, nowadays it's a creature orc. Cannot be assigned to block any white creature of power greater than 1. For 1 red, first strike until end of turn. Order of the Ebon Hand. Yes, I love this one too. This is really great for black aggro. So black, you get a 2/1 creature, summon cleric. I think they're knights now or something. Protection from white, so swords to plowshares can't take them out. And we've got black again, +1, +0 until end of turn. That's why they call these the pump knights. You can pump them up. And then 1 black, first strike until end of turn. So first strike, pumpable knights. Great card, love this one. Dwarven Soldier. I never had the art of this one. I don't remember it. 1 and red, 2/1, summon dwarf. If Dwarven Soldier blocks or is blocked by orcs, he gets +0/+2 until end of turn. Let no one say we did not fight until the last. Headstone fragment from a mass grave found in the Crimson Peaks. Damn, that's pretty heavy. Let's see, that's 5. Okay, here's the last common. Thorn Thallid. Okay, I love these. These Thallids, these fungus, were one of the big tribes. There were orcs, dwarves. There were a bunch of tribes in this set. It was the first set that really had a lot of tribal stuff going on. 1 green, summon fungus. You get a 2/2. Okay. During your upkeep, put a spore counter on Thorn Thallid, and then 0. Remove 3 spore counters from Thorn Thallid to have it deal 1 damage to any target. So think about this. This is direct damage in green. It's very slow. You're building up spore counters on this creature, which is, of course, boltable or shockable or fatal pushable. But by the time you got 3 spore counters, you can remove the spore counters to deal damage to any target, which would be a creature or a player or planeswalker if you redirect the damage. Pretty cool. Here's the uncommons or possibly rares. Raiding Party. One of the few cards that really shows off someone in a thong. Anyway, 2 red enchantment. Raiding Party may not be the target of white spells or effects. So it's got Shroud from white, almost like protection from white, kind of. 0. Sacrifice an orc to destroy all planes. A player may tap a white creature to prevent up to 2 planes from being destroyed. Any number of creatures may be tapped this manner. More Quentin Hoover art. The hate is really strong in that one. I forgot to say over here, artist shoutouts, Ron Spencer, Rob Alexander, and Jesper Merfors. So I'll put the ones that I like over there. Those are commons. Okay, here's uncommon or rare. And then finally we've got Tidal Influence. 2 and a blue enchantment. Tom Weinerstrand art. Put a tide counter on Tidal Influence when it's brought into play and during your upkeep. If there is 1 tide counter, all blue creatures get -2, -0. If there are 3 tide counters, all blue creatures get +2, +0. When there are 4 tide counters, remove them all. You may not cast Tidal Influence if there is another Tidal Influence in play. It's kind of legendary, and it makes your creatures stronger or weaker as the tide rolls in and out. Okay, next pack. Alright, we've got Initiates of the Ebon Hand. I like this one. For 1 black, you get a 1/1, so okay, black aggro creature. But then what you can do is 1 colorless, add black to your mana pool. Play this ability as an interrupt. Well, back in the day we had interrupts, which are now basically instants. If more than 3 is spent in this way during 1 turn, bury Initiates of the Ebon Hand at the end of the turn, or destroy. Art by Heather Hudson. Love this art. It's so spooky. And then the flavor text. We are no longer nature's children, but her masters. Oath of the Ebon Hand. So again, all of this great style about these tribes and kingdoms and all this great stuff. So you can filter your mana from your other allied colors into black, and you do it so much that then they die. Basil Thrall. One of the examples of a totally butt-naked art in the early days of Magic. Black, summon Thrall. 1, 2. Tap. Okay, here we go. Here's the old tap symbol, which was a little T. Sacrifice Basil Thrull to add black to your mana pool. Play this ability as an interrupt, as an instance. And this is art by the amazing Kaja Foglia, one of my favorite artists from back in the day. Very cartoony and just funny and weird. So anyway, you can create a creature and it can sacrifice itself to give you back its mana. Thallids. Ooh, I never had this one. I love this art. This is by Edward Beard Jr. Green, 1/1. During your upkeep, put a spore counter. When you've got 3 spore counters, put a Saproling token into play. It's a 1/1 green creature. So there's a really great deck of just building a lot of fungus and just overwhelming your opponent with a lot of creatures. This art is epic. I never had it back in the day. I love it. Feral Zealot. I always thought this guy had a really derpy expression and kind of a weird pose. Melissa Benson art. 1 white. Summon Townsfolk. You get a 2/2. If Feral Zealot attacks and is not blocked, you may choose to have it deal 3 damage to target creature. If you do so, it deals no damage to an opponent this turn. So if it gets through to the opponent, then you can have it deal 3 damage, direct damage to something else. Combat Medic. I like the art on this one. I always thought it was really interesting how they had their sort of like red cross as a little red triangle thing. 2 and a white. Summon Soldier. Well, he's a medic, but a soldier. Okay. 0/2. 1 and a white. Prevent 1 damage to any player or creature. So that's pumpable to prevent damage. Oh my god, one of the art that I really hate. I hated this, his hairdo. Vodalian Mage. 2 and a blue. Summon Merfolk. 1/1. Art by Mark Poole. Blue tap. Counters a target spell. If caster of target spell does not pay an additional 1. Play this ability as an interrupt or an instant. So, repeatable counterspell creature. That's cool. The last 2 ones. Dwarven Catapult. Red and X. Instant. Dwarven Catapult does X damage divided evenly among all of opponent's creatures. Round down. So, a big old burn spell. Hit all your opponent's creatures at once. Last card. Oh, yes! Rainbow Veil. Great! This is the most valuable card in the whole set, and I never had one of these back in the day. On a good day, this is $4. Valuable card. Anyway, land. This one's pretty weird, interesting. Tap. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Control of Rainbow Veil passes to opponent at end of turn. So put this down, any color mana you want, excluding colorless, technically, and then it goes to your opponent. And when they use it, it comes back to you. It goes back and forth. Interesting, huh? Kaja Foglia art. In the feudal days of Acacia, finding the Rainbow Veil was often the goal of knights' quests. Cool. Happy to get that one. All right. Really ugly brass claw orcs. I always thought his expression was really weird. By Rob Alexander. 2 and a red. 3/2. Cannot be assigned to block any creature of power greater than 1. So these orcs are not as tough as they seem, although a 3/2 attacker's alright. Hammered Warrior. Love the art, hate the card. 4 and a blue. You get a 3/3. 1 blue. Hammered Warrior may not be the target of spells or effects until end of turn, and does not untap as normal during your next untap phase. If Hammered Warrior is untapped, tap it. So give your creature Shroud. You have a 3/3 for 5 mana. Again, love that Daniel Gellin art, but not the card. Goblin Surgeon. Love the art on this one. Dan Frazier. It's just so funny. That surgeon is like deedle deedle dee, off comes your leg. So for 1 red mana, you get a 0/2. And then 0, sacrifice a goblin to regenerate target creature. So, okay, 1 dead goblin to regenerate another creature. Perhaps goblins are good for something after all. Attributed to General Kurzog. Yes, another dark ritual with the art that I never had back in the day. I love this one. I never had the Quentin Hoover art. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at that wizard. And then the flavor text. Knowing the hymn's power, the followers of Leechburg carefully guarded their pillaged transcripts. Okay, cool. Wouldn't it be amazing if I get a whole playset and all of the 4 different arts? Neckrite. Ooh, this is amazing art. 1 black black, summon Thrall, 2/2. If Neckrite attacks and is not blocked, you may sacrifice it to bury target creature controlled by the player Neckrite attacked this turn. If you do so, Neckrite deals no damage during combat this turn. So it assassinates another creature if it went through without being blocked. Art by Ron Spencer. Just love that art. Look at his little pet centipede over here and licking blood. Whoa. Elvish Hunter. 1 and a blue, summon elf, 1/1. 1 and a green and a tap. Target creature does not untap as normal during its controller's next untap phase. So you take out your creature's opponent for a turn. Thallids Curse. Green green, enchantment. Blue creatures do not untap as normal during their controller's untap phase. During his or her upkeep, a blue creature's controller may pay an additional blue to untap it. Each creature may be untapped in this way only once per turn. So powerful blue hate. Because back in the day, aligned colors really helped each other, and then opposite colors really hated each other. So this is one of the uncommons / rares. And again, back in the day, commons, uncommons, rares, and all of that didn't exactly behave like nowadays. So this is the rare. And lastly, Heroism. I don't remember having this one. I don't remember this art, and I don't remember those epic ears. 2 and a white. Enchantment. Art by Mark Poole. 0. Sacrifice a white creature to have attacking red creatures deal no damage during combat this turn. The attacking player may pay 2 and a red for an attacking creature to have it deal damage as normal. Okay, so more color hate. Sacrifice your townsfolk to have red creatures not hurt you. Next pack. Oh, I forgot to mention, check out these old things here. The old Garfield Games logo and the old Wizards of the Coast logo. Thallid. Okay, alternate art Thallid. I already had one over here, which I never had back in the day. I had this one, and I like that art a lot. Never had this one, though. Orcish Veteran. 2 and a... I already had one of those, didn't I? Yeah, Orcish Veterans. So this will be a cool thing to do. Mark in the comments which of the alternate arts do you like. So here, do you like the Quentin Hoover art or the Douglas Schuler art? I like them both a lot. Really cool styles. And then we've also got the 2 arts of Thallid. Do you like the Ron Spencer or the Edward Beard Jr.? Mind Stab Thrall. Love this one. Mark Tedden art. 1 black. Now, wait a minute. I already had one of those. No, that was a Basil Thrall. This is a Mind Stab Thrall. If Mind Stab Thrall attacks and is not blocked, you may sacrifice it to force that player it attacked to discard 3 cards. If you do so, it deals no damage. If that player doesn't have enough cards, they discard everything. So anyway, if it gets through, not blocked, opponent discards 3 cards from their hand for 3 mana. Beautiful art. So horrific. Dwarven Soldier. Art by Doug Schuler. 1 and a red. 2/1. If Dwarven Warrior blocks or is blocked by Orcs. Wait a minute, I already had that one, right? Yeah, Dwarven Soldier right here. I had this one back in the day, I think. I know I didn't have that one, so vote. You like the Doug Schuler art or the Rob Alexander art? Mercine. I never had this art. 2 blue creature, enchant creature, aura. Put 3 net counters on Mercine when it is brought into play. Target creature Mercine enchants does not untap as normal during its controller's untap phase, as long as a net counter remains. As a fast effect, which is an instant, target creature's controller may pay creature's casting cost to remove a net counter. So take their opponent's creatures out of control. Drew Tucker art. Pretty creepy. Never had this one back in the day. Basil Thrall. Okay, alternate art Basil Thrall. Never had this one. It looks like he's into bondage. So which do you like better, the Christopher Rush art or the Cajafoglio art? They're both really cool in two ways. Love the greens and the purples on the Rush art. Cool. And the last two cards. Hammerid Spawning Bit. Oh, cool. This is one of the ones that lets you create a lot of creatures. Rare. So, blue. Enchantment. 1 blue. Sacrifice a blue creature to put X Camerid tokens into play, where X is the casting cost of the sacrificed creature. Treat these as 1/1 blue creatures. So, I guess, summon your Mind Stab Throw, and then pay that huge casting cost to then sacrifice this and get 3 Camerids. And then I guess you can sacrifice more Camerids to create more Camerids. Something like that. And lastly, Delif's Cube. Some of the very rare artifacts in this set. There were very few artifacts. So what do we get? 1 colorless mana artifact, old artifact frame, brown instead of the silver nowadays. 2 and a tap. If target creature you control attacks and is not blocked, it deals no damage. Instead, put a cube counter on Delif's Cube. And then 2, remove a cube counter to regenerate a target creature. Moving on. First uncommon, Thallid. Got another Thallid. 2 of the same art over here. Orcish Veteran. Another Orcish Veteran. Right there. Dwarven Soldier. This almost feels like it's the exact same pack. Weird. Mercine, another Mercine. That's like the same thing. Does that mean I'm okay? I forgot what that's gonna be, but am I gonna get 2 of the same? Another Delif's Cube over here. Another Basil Thrall. It's the exact same. It's the exact same pack. Oh, that's different. Order of Leetber. Cool. This is the mirrored pair. Let me see here. Where did I put that Pump Knight? Oh, over here. This is the mirrored pair. So it's White's version of a Pump Knight. Summon Cleric. White. 2/1. Protection from black. White. +1 until end of turn, or 1 white for strike. So these guys are going to fight each other. And then afterwards, maybe kiss. And I think you already saw what's coming up next. Okay, that's different. Goblin Kites. That's a huge wall of text there. 1 and a red. This is an enchantment. Red. A target creature you control, which cannot have a toughness greater than 2, gains flying until end of turn. Other effects may later be used to increase the creature's toughness. At end of turn, flip a coin. Opponent calls heads or tails while coin is in the air. If the flip ends it in opponent's favor, bury that creature. Okay, great. So this is like one of the only ways to make a creature fly in Fallen Empires, and it's horrible because it could die half the time. And then you saw that, another Hammerid Spawning Bed. So yeah, that was a really weird. This is a really weird pack. That was almost exactly the same as the other one. But here's the last one. So, come on, another Hymn to Tourach, or come on, Ebon Praetor, come on, Deep Spawn, one of these huge creatures, come on, Feral Thallid. Well, the glue is still pretty tough after all of these years. Basil Thrall. So, I got a playset of Basil Thralls, but this is the Filfoglio art. Now, Cajafoglio and Filfoglio are related. They're husband and wife. So they each did a version of Basil Thrall here. Another Thallid, so I got a whole playset of Thallids with another art. I always thought this one was a little creepy. Hummerid, another one of those pretty horrible blue creatures. 2 and a blue, 2/2. Put a tide counter on the Hummerid when it's brought into play and during your upkeep. If there's 1 counter on it, -1/-1. If there are 3 counters, +1/+1. If there are 4, remove them. So the creature can either be a 1/1 or a 3/3, depending on the tide. Terrible. Goblin War Drums, 2 and a red enchantment. Each attacking creature you control that opponent chooses to block may not be blocked with fewer than 2 creatures. Oh, it gives menace to your creatures in red. Cool. Mercine. Oh, here's the other Mercine. Got 3 Mercines, and that's the art that I had back in the day, and there's a third art, actually. So many arts. Brass Claw Orcs, another Brass Claw Orcs. Let's pick the art. I don't like either one of them, really. I like this one a little better. Freddy Krueger claws. We forgot to say who would fight and win in this. The Pete Venters or the Drew Tucker art. And then we've got all of these different Basal Thrull arts to work with. Here's the last 2 cards. Come on, something really good. Elvish Farmer. Okay, yeah, this one's good. 1 and a green. Well, it's good for Fallen Empires because summon elf 0/2. During your upkeep, put a spore counter. Remove 3 spore counters to create a sapperling token. Okay, cool. So it makes sapperlings just like some of the other fungus, but then sacrifice a sapperling to gain 2 life. So you can make sapperlings and you can eat sapperlings, and you've got epic Richard Kane Ferguson art. One of like the most best amazing artists back in the day. Love that. Cool. And then the last card, Implements of Sacrifice. Artifact 2. 1 and a tap. Sacrifice Implements of Sacrifice to add 2 mana of any 1 color to your mana pool. Play this ability as an interrupt. So you're going to pay 3 mana to get 2 mana, but of any color. Relics of the Order of the Ebon Hand, the bowl and dagger, bespeak the hideous cruelty of its rituals. Art by Margaret Organ Keene. Oh, I love her art. She always had cool patterns in her art. So there you go. I did get Rainbow Veil, the most valuable card in Homelands. I got 2 Hymns to Tourax. Very good there. I got the Elvish Farmer. That's a good one. I got 2 of the Pump Knights. That's a good one. And then besides that, nothing really amazing. Well, I got the Hummerid Spawning Beds. That one's alright. I always like Mind Stab Thrall, kind of expensive. I like the Thallids for all of their token generation. The Basal Thralls are kind of cool for some mana. I like playing with the Ebon Hand. Terrible Artifacts. Thelon's Curse is cool. Hate Color, Raiding Party. That's another good hate card. So, not horrible cards. If you want horrible cards, you've got to go over to Homelands. Well, really, the most horrible cards in Fallen Empires are these freaking Hummerids. Get them out of here. So you got to go to Homelands for like truly horrible cards. You got to watch my other video on Homelands. But this was Magic in my day. This is what I grew up with 23 years ago, 22 years ago. This is what I was cracking, packs that I was cracking back in the day. And things like Hymn to Tourax are still amazing today in Modern. And, all of this stuff pretty much works in Modern. So not that powerful, but great casual, cool stuff for Cube or Commander, and really powerful with nostalgia. So if you like my video, don't forget to subscribe, or better yet, head on over to patreon.com/vmcampos. And why not contribute $1? It really helps. If you like all the great content I create, $1 goes a long way. I'll see you at the Rainbow Veil. This has been VM Campos.